Namaskar, friends. Today's greeting comes from the land of India. It is pronounced Namskar. Namskar. It means hello. It is the third most spoken language in the world, after English, which is first, and second is Mandarin. Today, India is one of the largest countries in the world and one that's most populated. So there's our geographic lesson for today. Today's lesson is around using our eyes to follow lines around a page and help us to keep our eyes, to think about keeping our eyes on the lines when we put our letters down on the paper when we're writing, or to follow the letters and words on the lines as we're reading. This is a form of exercise for your eyes and your hands. Doing eye exercises like this is a great way for us to follow the words and lines in books that we are writing ourselves or when we're reading other people's books. It's something we call visual tracking. It makes our eyes strong and helps us follow the words longer, which is building stamina. We look closely at each letter and each word, thinking about the direction that they go and what will come next. To do this, we're actually not going to do any writing or reading today. I bet that makes you happy. Instead, I'm going to show you how to do this kind of exercise with your eyes and actually your hands by making a puzzle for yourself. In today's lesson, in the video in a moment, I'll show you how to take a picture from a magazine, or you can use one of the images that I provided for you below and make yourself an at-home jigsaw puzzle. This activity will help you with visual tracking, keeping your eyes to follow what's going on, as well as how to kind of help you with scissor skills, which is really, really important. It's something we call fine motor skills. When we can use small scissors and do cutting, it helps our hands grow strength. We also build patience and are using our eyes to follow the lines carefully. We'll also be making lines on our pictures that help us think about patterns, shapes, and setting appropriate challenges for yourself. I invite you not to make this very hard on yourself, so set a goal that you feel that you can reach. All right, friends, so before we start this activity, I want to make something very, very clear. If you decide to use a picture from a magazine, that is great. I do invite you, though, to go about this with your grown-up. Ask your grown-up, what's a magazine that you're done with or that they're done with that they can help you find a picture for? That's step one. And then step two is you can do this activity. If you are not using a magazine picture, maybe it takes a long time to find a magazine or you don't have one. I actually didn't have one. I had to borrow one from my neighbor. I called him up and said, hey, can you leave a magazine you're not reading at my front door and I'll pick it up in 5 minutes? And she said, sure. So sometimes even when I'm teaching, I don't have the materials that I need and I need to be flexible. But I know that you may have a magazine, or if you don't, I'm supplying you with a bunch of photographs and pictures on our lesson that you can print out and you can use that as your image. So some of them are places, some of them might be animals, some of them you might like. So if you don't have a magazine or you don't feel like going through a magazine with your grown-up, or maybe they're too busy, I do invite you to use one of the images that I provided for you. All right, now let's get started. So I went through a magazine and I'm going to show you the magazine I did. Here's the magazine. And it's an art magazine, and it's about life in a certain place, in Palm Springs, where I am right now. And so there's a lot of articles with the words, and I tried not to find a picture that's really small. I tried to find one kind of like this one that's really covering most of the page, if not all the page. And something like this. So I actually found two pictures that are like this size, and they have some words, and I'm going to show you what I did with that first, okay? But something like this might be okay. It might be a little small, but we'll see. But for me, I know a picture like this is way too small. Pictures like this are way too small. Something like this could be okay, But I'm going to invite you to pick an image that covers a lot of the page. And it's okay if it has a little bit of writing. That's good too. But all the page or most of the page. All right, friends. So I'm going to show you my step one. Step one is I found 3 images, and I'm going to show you what I did with them. The first one I did was I found this picture here. And I decided just to carefully rip it out. And because I'm a grown-up, I didn't have to ask anybody. But if you're using a magazine, I do want you to ask your grown-up if it's okay. And say, Mommy, Daddy, Grandma, Grandpa, whoever your grown-up is Is this picture okay for me to use for my lesson? And they may say, that's appropriate. They may say, I'm not sure. And they may say, let's pick a new picture. If it's a, I'm not sure, or let's pick a new picture, I'm going to say, go ahead and use your own good brain power and say, let's find a better picture. All right, so here's a picture of a totem pole, which we often see in Native American culture. And you might have seen them in real life or in movies or in books, but this is a totem pole. And this is something that I picked out because of the size. So then I found another picture the same size, and I'll show you what I did next, which is this one, okay? So once I found my picture, this is step one, finding the picture. Step two is then deciding how you want to cut your picture. So for me, I'm not going to be using this gray part right here. I'm just going to be using this beautiful artistic part here, this art piece full of the colors. So if I was to do this picture, I would use my scissors and cut, and cut off the part that I'm not using. Step two is remove the piece that I'm not using and you're left. And this is a nice size. Look, it's even almost bigger than my head. So it's a nice size picture, okay? Then I have the option of deciding if I want it to go this way. It's up to you, okay? That's step two, okay? So now these are examples of the kind of pictures that I've chosen, but I am actually going to do another picture, and I'm going to go step by step. This picture is what I'm going to be using, and it spells love, L-O-V-E, love, okay? So I'm going to put these down here. Step one is finding your picture. Step two is cutting out the picture that you're going to be focused on, and I'm going to do that right now. Okay. So I have my ripped out page, and then I'm going to use my scissor skills, if I can find my scissors. There we go. And I'm just going to cut the outside. I'm really going to take my time. This is where I'm looking, and I'm going to hold my scissors carefully, and I'm just going to cut along. I'll do it this way so you can see. I'm going to try to go really slowly and not get any white. Now your scissors might be a little bit smaller because you're using kid scissors, and that's okay. Okay? And then I'm going to turn the page, and then I'm going to go up the side slowly. I'm doing my best to not get any of the white part. I just want the tan part in the background. And then it's easier for me to turn my scissors or to turn the page. For me, it's easier for me to turn the page. So I'll turn the page, and then I'll use my scissor skills again. I'm taking my time. I'm keeping my eyes on my cutting. That way I know where the blades are, and I'm being safe with my body and safe with my work. I'm going to turn the paper again, and I'm going to do my final piece of cutting for right now. All right, and I'm letting my garbage go on the floor. I know where it is. I'm going to leave it there for right now, and I'm going to pick up my garbage later. So here's my picture. Okay, how do we make a jigsaw puzzle? Well, something you can do is you can take a marker. It can be a Sharpie or another marker if you have one. And you can do this two ways. One, you can make your lines on this side of the paper, of the puzzle, or on the other side. For me, I like to do it on the side of the puzzle, so I'm thinking about the patterns that I'm doing. I'm going to set a goal for myself. I'm going to take my picture and think what I know about puzzle pieces. They're not just squares or just circles. I want to kind of fit them together into weird shapes. But I don't want my shapes to be too hard, because then I might get frustrated and not want to try my puzzle. So I'm going to make 10 different shaped blobs. Watch as I do this, okay? So I'm going to put a little piece of tape here, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to make my puzzle using 10 puzzle pieces. I probably could do more, but I've never done this before, so I want to start with 10. All right, so here's my puzzle, and I'm going to make 10 pieces. So my first piece is going to maybe start in the corner, and it might go squiggle, 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 squiggle. That's my piece one. Now maybe this piece will go squiggle, 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 squiggle. This is piece two. I like to count as I go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I have 5 squiggles, but I know I have a lot more on my paper. So I might make my squiggles a little bit bigger, or I might actually have to stretch out my pieces to maybe 15. I might do 15. 15. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see. 6, 7, 8. See how all my pieces are touching each other. Let's go over here. Maybe 9. That's big piece. 10. 11. I have 11 pieces here. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pieces. That's great. I was so close to meeting my goal, and I even stretched it out, but I feel really good about this. Okay, now I have my pieces. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my scissors, and I'm going to take off my little piece of tape, and I'm going to cut my pieces out, okay? So this is where our eyes and our hands are really on our scissors, and we're tracing the lines really carefully. Watch me as I'm turning the page. I'm not turning the scissors, I'm turning the page. And my eyes are on my scissors and my paper, because if I'm not looking, there's a chance where I could get hurt. Or if someone walks by, maybe they don't see that I have scissors and they could get hurt. My job right now is I'm going to be cutting, I'm tracing, I'm using my eyes, and I'm using my eyes to follow where my scissors are going to go. Actually, my scissors, I think, are following where my eyes are going. So it looks like here, I have my first piece is done. This is my one piece, and I'm going to put it over to the side. All right, then I have more to do. I like to do my outside pieces first. So here, I'm going to cut, cut, cut. It's okay if it's not directly on the line, but I know that I'm taking my time and I'm doing my best to trace along the blue lines. I'm letting my eyes tell me where I should be looking and where I should be cutting. And then once I'm done cutting my piece, I'll put it off to the side. Okay, so now I have 2 of my pieces here. Okay, 2 pieces down, and I'm just going to keep cutting. I hope everyone's having a good time at home and you're doing lots of learning and you're getting some playtime and rest and helping out your grown-ups at home. I know that we've all been in the stretch zone together, and it's really important that we help each other and we just try a little bit each day of learning and friendship. Here's another piece I cut out. Okay. Because of time, I may not do all of these pieces, but I do want to show you. I think I might do 2 more. So I'm cutting. I'm doing my best to really follow the lines. I think I'll do 1 more piece, friends. I hope you're watching. I know you might be sitting there and waiting, and maybe you want me to do the whole thing. Believe me, I really want to do the whole thing, but I am being mindful of time on our video. So I do want to say that this will be my last piece as a demonstration, but I'm going to show you what you can do as the final step. All right, so friends, I've finished my final piece, and here it is. So now, here's the rest of it, and I'll cut all these after. Let's pretend all these pieces are now their own little pieces, and they're all like this, okay? What I would do is I would shuffle them up. I'd put them maybe in a bag or in a hat or something and shuffle them up so they're all mixed up. And then, I'm not coming in here, then I have my puzzle pieces. And my job now is to figure out what pieces would go where. You put the puzzle back together again. So let's see. Here's a corner piece. And then I know here's another corner piece. Now that could go here. Does that fit? Doesn't fit. Does it go here? Maybe. I actually don't even know, and I still made the puzzle. Oh, I wonder if it's there. Let's see, where could this go? Oh, that could go there. I wonder. Let's try that there, maybe. And then this, let's see here. It's an edge piece. Oh, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. I wonder if it's down here. Nope, that corner's taken. Oh, perfect. There we go. My puzzle is coming together. And so this is a great activity that you can do because we're training our eyes to make our patterns, make our puzzle pieces. That's going to give us eye strength. And then we're going to use our hands and cut out scissors and then shuffle and put them back together again. Friends, your activity today is to find a magazine picture, or I invite you to use one of the images that I give you. Then you can use a marker and make your designs, carefully tracing along the lines. And then take your time to be safe and careful, and then mix them up, and then see if you can put your puzzle back together again. Okay? I do invite you, if you've done this a few times, maybe going forward, if you really want to challenge yourself, is you take one piece that's maybe big and you cut it into two. And that can give you more pieces. But I say start off small with 10 pieces, and then you can always take a big piece and then cut it to make it two more. But I don't invite you for that right now. Okay, friends, I hope you have fun with this. Give it a go, and off you pop.